And, when I'm running on deep, complicated projects that have got, a time frame when we're going to deliver, a technique I'll use, especially when there are multiple teams working on it, is, give me a traffic light status update, give me red, green, and yellow. And I've seen people using red, green, and yellow all the time. And I've asked a few folks, what does red mean? What does yellow mean? What does green mean? Oh, well, red's good, red's bad, and green is good. All right, well, what do you mean by that? Let's go down in here. You don't necessarily have thought it through. It's just, red is stop and green is go. And everybody, you could ask 10 people around the room, what do these different colors mean? And they came up with a different answer. I've carried with me from company to company, very crisp definitions of red, green, and yellow. Green, everything's running fine. Means I can pretty much ignore it. As long as there's trust there, I can ignore it. Yellow, you're off track, but you have a clear path to return back to track. Okay, good. I'm interested in that, but you figured out how to get the path back. Red, you're off the rails. And you're going to get the right people together, and you're going to figure out how to get a plan to get you back to green, up to and including changing the date or changing the scope. That's okay, because then it's agreed, and then you're green against that objective. But invariably, when I take in an organization and I'll go around the room and say, all right, managers, leaders, give me a status update. Everybody sits there, green, 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 which I know and they know that I know, and I know that they know that I know is nonsense. That what's governing that is fear. Oh, if I say something's yellow or something's red, I'm going to get in trouble. But as a leader, I need to know, I need as much runway as I can get to identify problems and then help the staff get past them. And a couple of times, going into meetings like that, when I've been a new leader coming into a company, I've had to pull somebody to one side and say, set your project status to red. They're like, why would I do that? It's green. I'm like, I don't care. Set it to red. And we're going to gameplay this a little bit. You're going to set it to red. You're going to make something up that sounds reasonable. I'm going to listen to you, and then you're going to tell me what the plan is, and just gameplay it through. And I've already, typically picked out somebody
that's brilliant. You're making it a safe environment for others.
Yeah. So we get in the room, and the first couple of people are green, 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 and then I get to this, man or woman and say, what's the status? Oh, it's red. And everybody's like, oh, what's going to happen? This new guy's coming in. What's going to happen? And the first words out of my mouth generally are, thank you. I appreciate you letting me know that you've got a problem. What do you, tell us a little bit more about that? What are your plans? Well, we had some changes of, a specification. We're not quite sure how we do it. So I can't confidently say that we're going to hit our dates here, but I'm going to get the team together, and within 2 days, by the end of, Thursday, we're going to come back to you and give you the update on the plan. Thank you. That is amazing. Look at this, everybody. What a great leader here, really stepping up and buying us the runway to do all the things. And everybody's sitting there going, okay. Good to know. And of course, then I go in the meeting next week, and green, green, yellow, yellow, red, yellow, green, green, green. Okay. Yellow. Thank you.
What you had done is you'd nudged them. That was a nudge.
Yeah. And look, anybody listening to this is like, okay, that's not exactly genius. But in so many, fear pervades so much of what we do. And just trying to eradicate that fear or ameliorate it to whatever degree I possibly can makes a big difference. Another, sort of approach or thought is, when I'm thinking about projects flex in one of three dimensions: time, resource, feature set. That's it. You presume the quality is invariant. Time, resource, number of people, how much money you're going to spend, CapEx, whatever. They're the only three dimensions. So if somebody said, we got to ship by this date, you've taken one off the table. Then you can only add more people or take away features. Well, if you're within 3 or 4 weeks of shipping something and you've got some problems, hitting that date, adding more people isn't going to help you out. So the only option you've got is to go and modify the feature set or go back and have a broader negotiation. But that's it. They're the three dimensions. And sort of letting people know that when they come in and they're talking about problems or opportunities or how projects are going, how are they doing in each of those three dimensions? How are they lined up, with each other? What are the, where's the fulcrum? Where's the balance points across all of these? And, if you're telling me that, well, we've got a problem, we can't change the date, we can't add more resource, and we can't reduce the, the feature set, then yeah, you got a problem because you ain't going to ship. And that's not opinion. That's fact. That's truth. So we better go and figure out which ones of those we can go and tune. And if that decision is not embodied in the person I'm talking to, okay, who are setting those limitations? And let's go and talk to them because they don't map onto reality. And that's, I mean, and then a final sort of point in this regard is, this is why I love working with leaders. People that, they may be, emotionally afraid, of fearful of the sort of reaction they're going to get, but they know they've got to have the conversation because they care about what they're doing and they care about the output and they're willing to take the heat to get to the right output. And, good leaders that surround them are not going to put too much heat on it. We're going to hold people accountable. We're going to set expectations and hold them accountable to that. But we're not going to beat up on people. That's a failing proposition. If you have to beat up on people verbally on a regular basis, maybe they shouldn't be at the organization, or maybe you should introspect about your performance and your behavior. That's a whole line of thinking. But set people up for success. Give them the space to be successful. Help them every step of the way. Coach, nudge, work on expectations and outcomes. But your job as a leader is there to help them. You're not going to ship the product; they're going to ship the product. So help them and then get out of their way.